coconut water. With the young coconuts, you get clear water. It's
a gold.
God's gift to this planet.
Yeah, they fix things in people.
Right. I just like the taste as a drink. At 6 years old, you were telling everybody it was a medicine. Yeah, you were saying it helped their brain.
But we didn't have the coconut water for people.
But I stumbled across some property that had a couple of 100 coconut trees. And the guy wanted out, and I took it over. And then we went to work in it. 9 months later, beautiful crop came in.
So, Dad, there was a problem, though, right?
Yeah, nobody wanted them.
Nobody drank it. There was no coconut water market.
You were sending sick people coconuts for free.
Yeah, I didn't care. I just wanted them to have it.
And you would have them in your office when people came in there to see you.
Oh, yeah, I would crack them open for people and just have them drink it right there.
And they loved it.
They would just be drinking the coconut water, fresh from the coconuts. You would stock us up there at my office. Everybody would be drinking them every day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah. And it's early in the morning.
Where's your wild blueberry lemon lime drink right now?
It's too early for it.
What did you bring?
My celery juice.
So you made that fresh this morning?
Yeah.
So when do you bring in the purple drink? The wild blueberry, the lemon, the lime, the water?
A little while after I'm finished with this. When I go back home.
So, Dad, I would love to talk about coconuts because we have a long-standing history of coconut knowledge. And there's an interesting reason why we know a lot about coconuts and coconut water. So how did it begin?
So me and Mom drove down to Florida, and we decided to go to Miami. And there was a vendor on the street selling coconuts. He had a whole cart full of them. Yeah, he cut the tops off of 2 of them, and Mom and I had one each with a straw in it, and it was delicious. So we were only there about a week, and I was just thinking about it. I must have drank about 50, 60 coconuts. When it came time to go home, I loaded a trunk with coconuts. On the trip back, I got a flat tire. I had to empty out the coconuts to get to the spare tire, and a trooper pulled over and asked me what I was doing with all the coconuts. And I told him I was taking them home to drink them. And he laughed his ass off.
So every time you told me that you would talk to somebody about coconut water back then, I mean, this is real early days. I was little wee big, you know, I was a baby basically. Yeah. You told me that nobody cared. It was, they only thought about coconut milk, right?
Right.
Like in a can.
In a
coconut
can.
Milk.
Yeah, coconut milk. That's all they thought about. They didn't know that coconut water, it's with the young coconuts, you get clear water. It's
a gold.
God's gift to this planet. When I came home with the coconuts, Spirit told you that coconuts are good for healing people.
Yeah, they fix things in people.
Right. I just like the taste as a drink. At 6 years old, you were telling everybody it was a medicine. Yeah, you were saying it helped their brain and get them better.
One of the biggest problems I had when I was younger, and you saw this all the time, that if Spirit gave me an answer for someone, you couldn't find it.
Right.
You couldn't find what it was they needed.
Because you couldn't get the coconut water. You couldn't get the coconuts. When you were a kid and you were doing readings, Spirit would ask for coconuts for those people. You would ask me, we need to get them coconuts. And we couldn't.
Yeah, because if Spirit said, hey, this person needs dandelion or dandelion greens, dandelion flowers or stems or roots, I could get it.
Yeah, you could forage in the woods.
Exactly.
But you couldn't get coconut water.
No, there was no foraging there.
Right.
So that was always the challenge. It was a big part of it all. So as years went by and I was growing herbs and foraging for herbs to dry and then put in the glass jars on the shelves in my offices that you talked about earlier. And some of those glass jars, if you remember, had mulberries from your mulberry trees. They were dried and they would be in there. And I would mix those into teas for different ailments for people.
Sure, I remember.
But we didn't have the coconut water for people.
Or the coconuts. But I stumbled across some property that had a couple of 100 coconut trees. But it was run down, overgrown, really neglected bad, and the guy wanted out, and I took it over. And then we went to work in it. We pruned the trees, cut down all the overgrowth, got the well working with irrigation. 9 months later, beautiful crop came in.
It really was.
Oh,
And then we were planting more coconut trees.
yeah, we were growing them. We had plenty of room.
So, Dad, there was a problem, though, right? A
Yeah.
big problem.
Yeah, nobody wanted them.
Nobody wanted them.
Nope.
Nobody cared.
Nope.
Nobody.
They didn't know.
They didn't know about coconut water. There were no coconut waters out there in the world. Nobody drank it. There was no coconut water market. It just didn't exist. You couldn't give a coconut away.
You were sending sick people coconuts for free.
Yeah, I didn't care. I just wanted them to have it. So I would just ship them to people and teach people how to drink them. And that's what you were doing too.
Yeah, I was trying to educate people on coconut water and how good it was for their health. And you would have them in your office when people came in there to see you.
Oh yeah, I would crack them open for people and just have them drink it right there.
And they loved it.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. It was like everybody in the waiting room, they would just be drinking the coconut water, fresh from the coconuts. You would stock us up there at my office. Everybody would be drinking them every day. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, Dad, what kind of coconuts were they?
They were Malayan gold.
So what's so good about Malayan gold?
It was, they had that taste to them. That was just, it was magnificent. Plus, they were loaded with water. I mean, one coconut, it averaged anywhere from 24 ounces to a quart, 32 ounces, sometimes 40 ounces. Coconuts were huge and young.
I remember that. They were gigantic
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And every now and then you would get like a freak coconut. It was a freak coconut because it looked so massive and it was so gigantic, it didn't even make sense.
The largest one I got was 13 pounds.
Oh my God, think about that. A 13-pound coconut.
A nut, 13 pounds.
Filled with juice. Filled with juice. So, Dad, every time I would help you on the coconut farm and I would go there, I remember seeing a lot of coconuts on one tree, just one tree alone. Like, how many coconuts are on one tree?
It was an average like over 100, 200 coconuts.
So 200
say,
coconuts
yeah.
on one tree.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes more.
we had a lot of coconut trees,
Yeah.
a lot of them. And when you think about 200 or more coconuts per tree, that's thousands of coconuts.
Right. Exactly.
And the sad thing was nobody wanted them because nobody knew how good they were for you.
You could go into the store and you could get the brown coconuts that already been shucked. They would use the milk for cooking, and the meat inside they would eat. No knowledge about a young coconut and the coconut water inside.
So, Dad, we were working on the coconut farm and it was hot as freaking heck. It was so hot.
Yeah. And we would drink the coconut water because that was the best thing for you in the heat. Regular water, you couldn't last at all the hours that we worked.
Be like 100 degrees. The sun would be shining, not a cloud in the sky. We're sweating, drenched in sweat, cutting down coconuts. And I would just crack them open. I would just pop them open.
Guzzle them down.
Yeah. And if a coconut fell off a tree and it wasn't protected and it cracked when it hit the ground, I would grab it and I would drown myself with the water. I would just pour it all over my head, drinking it while I was pouring the water on my head. So, Dad, you had a technique in opening up these young coconuts, these Malayan gold coconuts.
To begin with, there's this cap where the stem goes that you could pop off. And then I use a 5-inch blade and cut a small circle. And the coconut would shoot up a little bit of the water because it was pressurized. And then once you did that, you can pour it out.
There was so much pressure in these coconuts that when I would take a knife and pop it in on the top, it would just shoot out and hit the ceiling inside the house.
Yeah.
So
it would make a mess all over the walls. The walls would turn a little brown from oxidation.
What about the ceiling?
Same thing, the ceiling.
You kind of needed an opening station, because if you didn't have an opening station, whatever was around was going to eventually get covered with coconut juice, coconut water. Cabinets in the kitchen would be covered. The ceiling in the kitchen would be covered. The floor would have coconut water all over it. It was hard to manage.
So we really had to do it outside. That's what it came down to. Live and learn.
Did we see a lot of nature in the coconut grove? I wanted to ask you that, Dad.
All kinds. Tortoises was a big one.
Well, I remember tortoises coming in to the coconut grove all the time. They would just be in there. We'd be picking coconuts and they would be just next to us eating grass.
And the gel from all the coconuts that split open.
Yeah, the tortoises would love that. So what other kind of nature came into the coconut farm?
Butterflies.
Lots of different varieties. We'd see butterflies everywhere.
Yeah, you could always count on butterflies coming around. Tremendous amount of dragonflies would always be there.
I know that butterflies are a spiritual creature, but dragonflies are a very spiritual creature too.
I love seeing them. They could fly backwards too.
They keep the mosquitoes down, right?
Yeah, they would eat thousands of them a day.
They kept our farm mosquito free.
Yes.
I remember a lot of lizards.
Yeah, they were all over the piles of coconuts. I used to imitate them. I used to go like this with my head and neck.
That would make me laugh all the time.
Yeah.
Then every morning, I would see bunny rabbits. Always bunny rabbits around.
And deer, small deer.
Oh, yeah, they were really beautiful, those deer.
Yeah, they would just stare at us and watch us when we were harvesting. There was a pair of hawks that I could have sworn were really old souls. Yeah, they would sit up in a coconut tree and just watch me for hours.
And then there was the tree frogs. They were everywhere, sometimes so big.
But they were friendly. They would be climbing up the coconut trees.
Yeah, every morning I would see those tree frogs on the trunk of the coconut trees.
You know what my favorite treat was with those coconuts?
What?
I'd split them open and scoop out the gel that's in them. It was gel because there wasn't hard coconut inside. They were young coconuts.
Yeah, there wasn't a day I didn't do that. Cracked one open, took a spoon, scooped the gel right out, just ate it right there. The flavor was insane. It was better than just grated hard coconut. Way better than any kind of coconut flavor.
Yeah, and I would do like 3 or 4. That's what you really needed.
Oh, yeah.
To get a lot of gel.
Yeah, it's amazing we got any work done in there.
Yeah, I know.
One of the things that I think about all the time is that nobody cared about coconut water at this time in history when we were doing this. Nobody cared.
So we had piles of coconuts, but
big piles.
Yeah, and we would bulldoze them with a bobcat into big piles.
And Dad, you had a massive pile so big on that coconut farm of coconuts because people didn't care about drinking coconut water. It was so big. It was so tall. It was turning into like a pyramid, a big pyramid on the property. You were bulldozing coconuts and they were piled up.
Well, it turned out to be organic compost. Took time, but it turned out to be very rich soil.
Yeah, I really miss those days.
Yeah, me too.
We can talk about the coconut farm all day long.
Forever.
There's that much, yeah, forever, right? There's that much information, that many experiences. But can I ask you something? Can you tell everybody about the squirrels and the peanuts and the crows, especially one crow you called Broken Wing?
Okay, I'll tell you about it. So out in my backyard, I feed the squirrels and the crows. I got them trained to where they know I'm going to feed them every morning. The crows come early in the morning. It's still dark when they come. And the squirrels come at the break of dawn. So here's what I feed them. Peanuts, walnuts, and almonds. They love them.
So over the years, you developed a relationship with one crow. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, I named him Broken Wing. He came to me with a broken wing. He survived because I was putting out food for him, and I would chase the other crows away when they tried to take his food. All the other crows were mean to him because they knew he was injured. But he really loved Mom. Broken wings start coming around all times of the day, and Mom would feed him. He got attached to Mom. She was able to get real close to him.
Dad, wasn't he like the black sheep?
Yeah, it took us a little while to figure it out what they were doing to him. We were allowing his wing to heal by feeding him and watching his back. I'd be chasing the crows away when they would come because now I was really wanted to protect him.
And you saved his life.
Yeah. He always stood around the yard because he was mending. Over time, he was finally able to fly up on a branch. His wing healed in a certain angle, and you could always recognize him because his wing was cocked up a little bit from his back. He got stronger and stronger until he was able to fly pretty good. And then one morning, he wasn't there when I was bringing out the peanuts.
What did you think when that happened?
I was really worried when that happened because he was there all the time. He was like a fixture in the yard.
It's like a family member.
Yeah. Mom was really upset. Day 2 came. He wasn't there.
Wow.
Then day 3 came. He wasn't there. But after day 3, in the afternoon, who comes flying down? Broken wing. I wasn't home. Mom called me up and told me what happened. I was so happy. We thought he was dead, but he came back hungry. What I didn't mention was he was never with the flock. He always came after the flock or right before they were leaving. And that's when they would go after him.
They didn't want Broken Wing to get any food.
Exactly. So now that he showed up, he would come around for a few days and then he would leave again. And we were getting used to that. But I'll tell you what, his flying became extraordinary. He could fly through the trees. A lot of times the crows were after him. He could outmaneuver them. Then one day he left. He was gone for about 2 weeks. And we figured now they caught him or something really happened to him bad.
I remember you guys were really worried about him.
Yeah. And then he showed up with another crow that was larger than him. And they were partners. Broken Wing got a family. So Broken Wing and his partner came around for about a week. And we noticed something wrong with her. She might have been injured before because she had a problem with her neck.
And this is what's mind-blowing, because Broken Wing, who was not part of the flock, who they didn't want him to survive or live, he had a broken wing. He only made it and survived because you were feeding him. They ostracized him.
That's true, they did.
And when he finally heals, he finds a partner who has an injury, a neck injury.
And they still were separate from the flock. It was just them two. Meanwhile, they left, and they never came back. Me and Mom were brokenhearted. So now a year passes, and I'm driving home, 2 miles away from home, and I see a crow up ahead of me fly by and land on a fence post. And I slowed down because he looked familiar. It was Broken Wing, still with the same wing cocked up on his back. And I stopped the car right away, and I yelled to him, Broken Wing, Broken Wing. And he looked at me and he went, caw! And then he flew away. I felt a little bad, but I was happy for him because he was living his life.
Yeah, he got his life back.
Yeah.
So, Dad, you and Mom have had dogs your whole life. They're everything to you guys. They're your whole world. And you don't have dogs anymore. I mean, and that's serious, because when I think about it, like, they were everything. Your whole entire life, you guys had dogs. So tell everybody a little bit about that.
Well, that's how it is with pets. You know, it was like our last dog that passed away. I mean, I couldn't handle that. Mom and I were sick over it, and I swore to her, we'll never have another dog again. The heartbreak is just too much. Really like losing a family member.
Every time you lost a dog passed away, a beloved dog, I was worried about you. We're always worried about you because you fall into a depression for a while because it was just too much.
Well, it was big heartbreak. I mean, I'm getting choked up right now thinking about it. I don't even want to talk about it, tell you the truth.
All right, but let's talk about the 8 critters that you take care of now.
Yeah, and guess what they are? They're cats.
Cats?
Pharaoh cats.
You love cats?
Yeah, and they're Pharaoh. One at a time, they found my home.
So, Dad, you got 8 cats now.
Yeah, technically, I do. One day at the end of the driveway, Mom saw a cat. It was a stray cat.
Okay.
She decided she was going to feed it. Yeah. He was a good-sized cat. He was a Pharaoh cat. He had a clipped ear.
What's the clipped ear? What's the clipped ear mean?
And that means that somebody picked it up and took it in and had it neutered and probably shots.
Okay.
And then let it back out.
Into
again.
the wild.
Yeah, again. Next day, she fed him again. Next day, she fed him again.
Yeah.
Next day after, she fed him again. And then she started feeding him twice a day.
Twice a day.
Yeah,
he
twice
was getting
a day.
food.
And then now he was coming up the driveway closer to the house when she was feeding him.
He liked you guys.
Yeah. This went on for months. At this point, he was an outside cat.
He wasn't an inside cat yet.
No, not yet. But he became an inside cat. I got him to come in after about 6 months.
How'd you do it?
With food, of course.
Yep.
That's how I got him in. And he liked it. He was in for a few hours a day, and we'd let him out. He would stay out all night. One day he came in, he had a wound on his left hip. And I gave you a call about that because it was pretty big. And we needed Spirit to tell us, what is this? You said, Spirit said it was bad infection from barbed wire. You asked me if he was licking it.
Yeah, that wound was really bad from barbed wire.
Yeah, you gave me an herb to stick in his food. And he recovered in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you always figured out things since you were a child about what was wrong in animals. You used to say as a kid, Spirit says this animal needs this animal needs that. And wherever we went, whether it was a dog or a cat or a bird,
yeah,
you were able to help them out. And Spirit said, give him this. And we relied on that. And other people we knew too. But it got annoying because too many people were coming to you. As a kid, they wanted answers, but you didn't care. You wanted to help people.
When I was little, I would ask Spirit about every single animal. And Spirit would tell me. But Spirit would also tell me about what people were going through and what was happening there. But you and Mom know better than anybody. You guys lived it.
And it wasn't easy, those early years. Seemed like every minute Spirit was saying something.
So, Dad, what about your other 7 cats?
Well, the pattern would be like this. Another cat would come around, nosing around, and we'd stick out some food for it and start feeding it. And it would be like the same process, you know, because we love animals, you know, and it was sad to see cats starving.
Well, and then it was cold outside and it was too hot. And how's the cat going to survive on its own in 100-degree heat and then cold too, freezing cold outside?
Right. I'll tell you what I did. I bought these little heating pads and I plugged them in for outside, little beds like padded.
Yeah, for those really cold nights.
Yeah. And the cats would sleep on them for the cold nights. Yeah.
So how many cats are inside and how many cats are outside? How does it work?
Well, it's 3 cats that are inside and they're in for the night. I let them out in the morning and the other cats, I feed them twice a day. We can't have too many cats in the house. That'll really get crazy. A lot of times I have to let them out 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Can't let them stay all night. They have to go to the bathroom. They don't use the house.
Because these are feral cats. They go to bathroom outside. They've been trained their whole life.
Yeah, that's it. They're used to going to the bathroom outside all their lives. There has never been an accident in the house.
That's amazing. Do you love these cats?
Love them. They're a big part of our life now. We love the hell out of them.
Does Mom love them too?
Yeah, she sure does. She always says they are some characters.
So how does it work with the cats and the squirrels? They're feral cats, and you always tell me they actually chase and hunt squirrels.
Yeah, well, it's been working out good because we've been feeding both of them. The squirrels get a lot of food. Cats get a lot of food.
So they're happy.
The cats are getting lazy. That's the thing also.
You're feeding the cats every day so the cats aren't trying to hunt for their food anymore.
Right.
And
they're like I said, they're getting lazy. And they're not after the squirrels anymore.
They're laying around.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of laying around.
And taking naps.
Doing a lot of sleeping.
Are they always in Mom's favorite chair? Is that what I heard?
They're always kicking them off.
Yeah.
Let's put a towel down and,
Yep.
They're starting to run the house.
They're starting to run the house.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. We work for them.
So you guys are working for them.
Right.
They're ruling the house.
They're our bosses now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
All those little kitties just taking over the house. They're not little.
They're not little kitties.
They're all big cats.
Big cats. Yeah.
All right. So Dad, you were talking about the peanuts, the almonds, and the walnuts for the squirrels. So the squirrels and the crows?
Yeah. And the crows. They eat the same thing. It's easy. Feed both of them.
So let's talk about the squirrels a little bit.
They're all friendly right now because they've been trained. They know when they yell up and they have this noise that they make up in the trees. When I come outside, it's like they're telling everybody, he's out here. He's going to feed us.
They're happy. So you have 8 cats. You got how many squirrels?
About 20.
20 squirrels. How many crows?
It would be like 15, 18, something like that.
Crows?
Yeah.
So you had 8 cats, 20 squirrels, 18 crows.
Okay. Let me say something about the crows.
Okay.
They're not there all day. They come in the morning, they leave, they go all over the whole area. I see them in different places. I could tell it's the same crowd.
It's the same motley crew.
Yeah. They have a routine.
And I bet you the squirrels have a routine, and I know your cats have a routine.
Oh, they all do, yes. Crows eat and they disappear.
Dad, when I come over, it's like a magic wonderland. You got the cats, which I love. I love all your cats. Even Wildcat. Wildcat I even love, but Wildcat you can't pet on the head. He's a feral cat that doesn't take any crap. He means business. You're not allowed to pet his stomach, but he hangs out on the porch and he comes up to me and he rubs up against my legs and my ankles. And if I pet him, I got to remember, don't pet Wildcat. You always tell me Wildcat will take a swipe at you.
Well, you could pet him on the top of the head.
On the top of the head.
But don't go down his neck or his back because he'll in a second, he'll have you all scratched up.
Yep. You know what another reason is why it's a wonderland there? Because the fruit trees. You got all your mulberry trees all growing around the house and in the yard. I mean, you even have some banana trees. You got bananas, you got mulberry trees, you got citrus, you got oranges, you got the ponderosa lemon, which is really amazing, that gigantic lemon, that lemon tree. You have all your fruit trees. You have your gardens. You got your peppers, which we should talk about on another episode. We should talk all about your pepper garden, all about the super chilies, all about all of that. You've been growing peppers your whole life. And it's a magical place when I come out there.
It is a very special place.
So we did it, Dad. Part 2.
Yes.
Thanks for coming out here.
You're welcome.
We covered the coconut farm, which is crazy when I think about it, because going back there, it's just such a beautiful place. So many memories. I remember you cutting down those coconuts. You would put cardboard boxes down below all around the trees.
Piles of them.
Piles of them to break the fall.
Right. Yep.
Because when those coconuts came crashing down, the weight of a massive batch of coconuts falling out basically from the sky.
A lot of them would split open, shoot juice all over the place.
Yeah, if they land on the ground, forget it. And they would land on the boxes and it would protect them and break their fall. Yep. So we would load up boxes around every coconut tree.
Yeah, that was the old way.
That was the old way.
Yep.
That was the old technique.
Yep, that was the beginning.
Yeah, it was. You know what's crazy? You and I used to always say, don't sit under that coconut tree. That was like a rule there at the coconut farm.
Yep.
Don't eat lunch
Yep.
underneath the coconut tree.
Never. Always be alert and ready and look up all the time.
Yeah, because if one of those big Malayan gold coconuts fell on your head from that height, forget it. It would knock you out, maybe crack your head open.
It would be toodalooey.
Toodalooey. And so we had this rule. Do not sit and eat lunch underneath that coconut tree.
Yep.
Or any of them. So Dad, when's the last time you seen Broken Wing?
It's been years, but I'm hoping he's still alive. He was a strong survivor. What does Spirit think?
Spirit says he's still alive.
That's great news.
And he may come and visit you.
I feel that he's always around. I'm always looking for him.
He remembers what you've done for him. He'll never forget. And God won't either. Thanks for coming on, Dad.
I love you.
Love you too.